Welcome everyone. This is Sarah Norbaum, Director of Region 2, Migrant Education. Today we're going to learn about the key shifts in the new state delivery plan and what you can do to best prepare yourself for writing your new district agreement. This presentation will take a crosswalk approach from where we have been to where we're headed. The new SDP and Measurable Program Objectives, MPOs, as they're known, will be implementing this fall, 2026-2027 fiscal year. So we're going to address the MPOs that will have the greatest impact on the services that districts most often implement: English Language Arts and Math, MPOs 1 and 2, School Readiness, MPO 7, High School Case Management and Credit Recovery. We'll talk about how you can think about which of these services are a good fit for your district and how you can plan for a successful grant implementation. Ready? Here we go. All right, a snapshot on some of the most significant changes to the new SDP. First, for MPOs 1 and 2, ELA and Math, no more participation targets. This coming year will be a baseline service year from which our performance should grow by 3% per year. More about that in a second. Next big change, 30 hours of additional instruction in regular year and 20 hours of additional instruction in the summer has been the model. And it is still the model, but we have been given some flexibility in regular year. Now, in regular year, you can also implement an 18-hour service over the course of 9 weeks, meaning you could conceivably fit 2 rotations of services into one semester, fall and spring, instead of just 1 rotation of 30 hours. Now, on to the really exciting part. Many MPO requirements have become more focused and prioritized toward our most underserved populations. First, all services are meant to prioritize Priority for Service, or PFS, students. Those are students who have moved at least once within the last school year. School readiness services now include TK students, meaning 3, 4, and 5-year-olds, including any students who are in preschool or TK. Case management used to be a 9th grade service. It now includes 9th through 12th grades who are at risk of not graduating due to credit deficiency or who are at risk of becoming credit deficient due to grades. And finally, 65% of all services must now demonstrate culturally and linguistically sustaining pedagogy in all documented lesson plans. Here's the color legend for the next few slides. Yellow will stand for what has changed, green for what is new. Anything in red has been removed, and anything in navy blue remains the same. In the yellow box is what the previous MPOs for language arts dictated. In green, what the new demands state, and the dotted talking points below show you the key differences. Keep in mind, RSY stands for regular school year, and a reminder that during regular school year, classified staff is also allowed to deliver instruction, just not during the summer. As always, integrated ELD must be embedded in all migrant ed services. That hasn't changed. You may notice a greater focus on student engagement using pedagogical methods like project-based learning, differentiated instruction, and offering voice and choice. For the new SDP, English Language Arts includes scaffolded instruction for reading, where the focus is on fluency and comprehension in the content areas. Writing focus is on the writing process, including grammar and syntax, and responding to model texts. Finally, if you'll note that 65% of all documented services in every agreement must have evidence of culturally sustaining practices and service lesson plans. Culturally and linguistically sustaining practices, CLSP as they're known, involve intentionally integrating students' cultural backgrounds, home languages, and lived experiences into the curriculum to foster identity, agency, and academic success. So, as you are developing your services, remember to think about your resources and be sure to curate diverse materials that represent your audience, establish equitable learning goals, expect high performance from all students, and build scaffolds that allow every student to get there. All texts used for ELA services must be informational. The focus moves away from quantity of texts for close reading to a depth of understanding of purpose and how informational texts work. There is a clear separation in the grade spans from elementary to secondary, where elementary grades use literary nonfiction, such as biographies and biographic true stories, narrative tellings of science and history. For secondary, the focus is on expository text, argument, and functional text, like newspaper articles, instructional manuals, and content texts, how-to guides and scientific articles, recipes or menus. For argument, editorials or position papers, reviews, critiques. The reading used in MPO 1.1 must also serve as the basis for writing instruction, such that the students are responding in writing to the work they are reading, which makes sense, right? For the new SDP, ELA must include explicit instruction in the writing process of informational writing, such as pre-writing, research and planning, including graphic organizers and other structural supports, drafting, which includes creating a topic sentence or introduction, depending on the age group, developing a well-organized paragraph or body and ending with a closing that wraps everything up, then editing and revising. This is a great moment to introduce modern tools such as AI-supported platforms that help students fix repetitive connectors or simplistic vocabulary. It's also a great way to level up the integrated ELD of your writing lesson. Finally, publishing your writing work. It's fun for students to see their work posted, either in person or online. There are several platforms that allow for this, like Young Writers Project, Teen Inc., the classroom moderated platforms like EduBlog, and there are many more. For mathematics, Measurable Program Objective 2.0, the big change is in the shift to a local focus on the claims, with the greatest gap for migrant students. So not just concepts and procedures or problem-solving, modeling, and data, but those specific claims where the migrant students most underperform in your local districts. As with ELA, there's a shift in the accountability metric from a participation target to a growth target, 3% per year, and math services have the same flexibility in regular year for 18 hours in 9 weeks versus a traditional 30-hour service. School readiness, as mentioned, now includes TK students. So 40% of all eligible 3, 4, and 5-year-olds, including TK, with 15 hours of additional instruction. The service must be dual language, home language plus English. Instructors must be certified with at least a Child Development Associate's teacher permit. Classified staff alone cannot fulfill this role. Social emotional learning is an embedded component of the service, and it is also wise to include culturally sustaining practices in school readiness service. High school case management, for those districts that choose to provide it, now includes 40% of all at-risk high school students, 9th through 12th grades. At-risk is defined as any 9th grade migrant student who scored not or nearly met in the ELA and or math CASP as an 8th grader. Also, this could mean any level other than 4 on the LPAC while in 8th grade. For 10th through 12th grade students, at-risk is defined as being credit deficient or at risk of becoming credit deficient as per grades. Proper case management now involves a structured meeting. It can't just be a check-in. The meeting must be tracked in some kind of a plan where A through G, CTE, graduation requirements, grades, and intervention or credit recovery opportunities, if appropriate, are discussed and noted. Each meeting should have a record of goals and progress toward them. This year, we will be using, as a region, JotForm. JotForm integrates with Google Drive, Sheets, and PDF editor. In this way, our staff can easily be trained with each meeting and any resource for it and use the JotForm to document it. When meetings result in improvement or if students become credit deficient, the individual learning plan, or ILP, must be updated to reflect the new service needs or if any of those needs have been resolved. Credit accrual has also expanded to include all grade levels, 9th through 12th. In the new SDP, 50% of all 9th through 12th graders with an unaddressed credit deficiency need credit recovery services. Unaddressed credit deficiency means the student has no way of recovering credit through district pathways, like Beyond the Bell or in-day intervention periods, summer school, or placement in a continuation high school. When the student cannot recover missing credits through district offerings, then migrant funding should be used to offer credit recovery for those migrant students. Now that you know about this year's objectives and services, let's take a look at your migrant student profiles. You'll see your districts in the first column. Performance eligibility for Category 1 regular year is the first group of numbers you see. These are the numbers of eligible students as of 2024. These data are a year old because that is how we get them from the state. The data we have in SST Web is generally more current, but not always accurate, since the numbers of migrant students tend to always be shifting. The next column, mobility status, is for students who came to the district for the first time between September 1st and August 31st of 2024-2025. Not necessarily new to the U.S., just new to the district. This is different from priority for service students, PFS, which are students who have moved within the last year and may have been students in the district prior and just re-enrolled. Generally speaking, these students have high academic needs because they are your most mobile students. Students with academic needs are students who have not met standards in any or all of the state assessments for CASP or LPAC. Finally, ages 19 to 21 are students who left high school or came to your district for work who have not earned a diploma. This profile should give you some insights into the kinds of services you need. If your mobility is high, you need push-in services during the day, during universal access, intervention periods, advisory periods, early release days, and targeted microservices after school. Remember, the key differences between core and supplemental instruction is not the time of the day, it's what's going on in the classroom. As long as the migrant specialist, whoever that person is not intruding upon or replacing core instruction from the teacher, then the instruction is considered supplemental, like center time or small group time, after whole group instruction is finished. Often, for our most at-risk students, reaching them when they are at school is the only way we can serve them. It's time to get outside the box and remember you can use classified staff for academic services during the regular year, just not for school readiness unless they have an early childhood teacher's permit, and not during summer school. In summer school, all staff must be certificated. And of course, after-school services are still a good choice if you have after-school programs that migrant students will attend. We will have a follow-up webinar on April 6th where you can get any questions answered and prepare to write your application. I'll be sending out an invitation to all migrant leads who have accepted our funds. I hope that you will join us and have your questions ready. Thank you so much for listening. I look forward to working with you again this year.